everybody.
Hey, we are live, I'm pretty sure.
We are live from Philadelphia, baby. And I'm Big Dizzle. I'm here with the Dutch Master 5000.
Live from Philadelphia, it's Friday night.
Yes, it is.
And we're here with the nasty one, the mayor of sexy and the king of all things supreme, especially his penis. MoneyE's here, everybody. Eric, how you doing?
What's up? How are you?
Pretty good. We're here for another week of the Wrestling Through the Years podcast, and we're here for great wrestling talk where it's WrestleMania season, baby. Everybody's excited for Cody and Cena, as am I. And everybody's excited for WrestleMania and everything that it has to offer. And we figured we'd go back and talk about a story getting finished and talk about last year. We did it last week with part one. Is Cleneth not coming? Where's Cleneth?
I don't know. I sent him multiple messages.
We talked about it with part one. We're going to talk about it here with part two, night two, which is arguably the way better night.
Oh, yeah.
Like night one was all right, but night two, it fucked to the maximo. I thought it was great. And I really, it'll be fun going back and talking about it. This is still kind of fresh in our minds, but we did rewatch it. And it'll be fun to get into some of the little things.
Yeah.
And because this was a WrestleMania that was very controversial last year in the build up to it.
Yes.
And this year, everybody kind of seems excited. The build's been a little weird, but a lot of the fans seem into it. So,
And also, earlier today, it was made official the New Day are challenging the War Raiders at WrestleMania for the Raw Tag Team titles. Or for the...
We know what night?
Titles, right?
it's going to be on the pre-show.
They don't do matches on the pre-show anymore.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 14-match card, 7 matches on each night. So they're going to finish making the matches tonight because we're going to find out who's going to challenge Liv and Raquel.
Can you believe they stretched New Day War Raiders out all the way until WrestleMania?
Yeah.
How long have they held the titles?
New War Raiders have held them since December 16th, I think.
Okay.
So, something like that.
Yeah, so about 4 months.
That's going to be night one.
Yeah. So, I mean, a 14-match card, which, you know, but 7 matches on each night. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to find out Liv and Raquel who's going to challenge him tonight. Nick Aldis is going to make a decision on what he's going to do with Randy Orton. Because
there's a lot of rumors going around with Aleister Black.
That's the rumor. Well, that's the rumor that I keep hearing too. What I also keep hearing is people are just saying, Aldis, just take the fucking match.
Yeah.
Or just give it to Sammy.
Sammy's not ready to come back yet. Sammy got off for Ramadan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if he got.
So Karrion's not getting his WrestleMania match. Now he's going to deal with Logan and AJ.
Yeah.
He's kind of in the background on that.
His match was given to El Grande Americano.
Yeah.
Sammy and Karrion Kross's spot was given to Rey Mysterio to El Grande Americano.
Well, I'm glad to see Chad Gable on there.
Yeah.
There does seem to be a little more filler shit on WrestleMania this year than last year, but I wouldn't call that. Chad's been doing really good storytelling, and I really liked what Chad and New Day also. They were hot as a heel run. They just haven't been given much, especially in the Netflix era. A lot of their cool shit was like before they went on Netflix on Raw when they did the whole thing against Big E. They were white hot in that moment. They were huge. They were fucking over heels that all they had to do was walk out and they get booed. And it's still kind of that way, but momentum has definitely slowed down a bit because you haven't seen them as much.
Right. Well, here's my theory on why a lot of the filler stuff is being put on WrestleMania. Okay. This year, you know, SmackDown's 3 hours, right? The SmackDown before WrestleMania, it's going to be, but they got to shorten it to 2 because they got to have enough time for the Hall of Fame ceremony. So they got to do a fucking 2-hour SmackDown, then trek like across the fucking street to the theater where they're going to have the Hall of Fame. So they don't really have enough time to do a lot of the stuff that they would normally do on the SmackDown before WrestleMania on the SmackDown before WrestleMania. because now Cena has announced that he's going to be on that SmackDown. All right. So now we got to get, Cena getting the upper hand on Cody. And, probably a Rock appearance. So a lot of the filler stuff that would be on that SmackDown is just going to be on WrestleMania itself, just so they can have enough time to, do the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I don't think Triple H would book like that, though, do you? It's the biggest card of the year. WrestleMania last year was so big and so monumental, and it's what everybody was talking about. So why would we get that? This year, I think they want the same thing. I think that it's the biggest show of the year. They've been building all year to this. And a lot of this stuff doesn't, because the New Day and War Raiders isn't necessarily filler. That's a storyline that's been building for months now.
Yeah.
But you just don't see them as much. So it kind of feels like filler. And they're like only there for a few minutes at a time.
Well, and also, too, it's what I've been saying the last few weeks that we've done shows anyway. You have WrestleMania was always get everybody on the card for a payday.
Yeah.
Okay. Like everybody has to work WrestleMania unless you're injured. You have to be on the Mania card.
Yeah.
So it's the way it's always been. The only time it was never really that way was back in the New Generation era when they started transitioning into the New Generation era, where Vince wasn't allowed to have that, because going all the way back to, I think it was WrestleMania 2 or 3, WrestleMania has always been 4 hours.
Yeah.
But then you had that period of time where WrestleMania got put to being 3 hours because Vince couldn't afford that third hour of pay-per-view because business was down.
Okay. What's the correlation here?
Everybody getting on the card.
Yeah, of course. That is always a big deal, and they do make that. But you usually see that and fucking, we have a Fatal 4-Way tag match. We have the ladder matches. We have the Battle Royals. We're getting the 4-ways and the triple threats and stuff. This really doesn't feel like just getting everybody. It doesn't. It just, when I said filler, I meant more like we don't have, like, our A story is Cena and Cody.
Yeah.
And then you got the Punk shit, and then everything else is kind of B. And like in Rhea and Bianca, I've been saying I thought it was going to be that. We're getting a triple threat. It's going to be cool. But that doesn't really feel like the spectacle right now. It'll still be a great match. Tiffy and Charlotte has been a hilarious build-up.
Which, by the way, that's
they have a lot to live up to from last year. Last year was one of the best WrestleMania.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that now, because there's no stigma of Vince McMahon. Like last year, you were still like a month off, a couple months off of what, Vince McMahon having to resign and all that. He's been gone 15 months now. Now it really is Triple H's time. Can he kind of build off the momentum that they got last year? And some of these matches should go on like a 1 hour pre-show before WrestleMania.
But here's the thing about those matches. Gable and Ray is going to be a very good wrestling match.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be Gable's, because Ray's going to really try to make Gable look good, and Gable's already fucking the man. So that's going to be I'm confident that the New Day and War Raiders can put on a pretty good tag match. So a lot of the stuff that does feel kind of stuffed, and that Fatal 4-Way for the IC title, I'm kind of more drawn to it now than I was when it was first kind of pitched upon. Because I understand getting a guy like Dom on the card, to get him on the card. Because he's a guy that gets massive heat, is a good contributor to the company. No, he's not a main event guy. But he's kind of always in the A stories. Like, he was in the big story with Liv and fucking, that was all Dom. So Dom's stock kind of has to stay raised, and he's got to keep working WrestleMania. He's had a hell of a year where he was the main focal point of this women's rivalry. And he fucking, and now you're going to have him not, work. So I get getting him on there. And I get getting Finn on there too. I mean, Finn's going to do what he does best.
Lose.
And we'll probably either get a Braun retention or retain, or we're going to get a fucking Penta win. And that's kind of our two options. Or Dominic Mysterio shocks the world.
Yeah.
Gets a quick fucking roll-up pin. That could be a moment. So we got a
I
lot
could see
to
Dom winning. Getting his WrestleMania moment.
But let's get into this WrestleMania.
Okay.
Philadelphia Night 2.
Yeah, which it was the warmer of the two nights. Eric and Cleneth were there.
Yes, it was.
And it was just funny how, like, it really seemed like night one was the crowd was really taken out of it because of how cold it was. And Cleneth made the point last week, and I do kind of agree with him. Although I'm admitting that I agree with him now because he's not here, because I don't want to do it to his face.
Well, at least you're not a pussy.
Yeah. So, like, these are people coming from all over the world who are used to, like, because when you're doing a WrestleMania that time of year, it's like the Super Bowl. You don't have the Super Bowl, which is in February, in Green Bay, Wisconsin, which is an outdoor stadium, or Soldier Field in Chicago, which is an outdoor stadium, or
Cool.
any place where snow happens to fall and spring doesn't technically start until May 1st.
I would love to see a Super Bowl with snow.
Huh?
I said I would love to see a Super Bowl with snow.
Yeah. I just wouldn't like to go. But the point is that, like, people go to WrestleMania and, like, they expect to be in a stadium where it is warm, even though they have held it in, like, New York before, but they somehow usually get the weather right and it's like 50, 60 degrees and it's fine. Yeah. Last year it was 40 something fucking degrees on night one. Everybody was miserable. And
it was raining too.
It was raining, I think, earlier in the day. So, like, but night two was a little warmer out, so everybody was just like, all right, cool. And everybody just wanted to see Roman versus Cody.
Exactly, yeah. Everybody was in a better mood on Sunday. Just being there, too.
Yeah, because, like, night one, it's just like, okay, night one was more of the filler stuff, except for I wouldn't call Rhea and Becky filler, and Sammy and Gunther was pretty good, and people were just let down by the Uso match. But night two, you had more, I think better. You had a better opener, and you had a better closer.
Yep.
And then you had that hunk of shit that was the 6-man street fight.
Yeah.
And when I say hunk of shit, I just mean Karrion Kross.
Jesus,
I got food during that time.
Well, you were sitting.
I did watch it. I did rewatch it. So.
Well, I mean, when you keep yapping, it's hard to talk. But I thought WrestleMania night 2 will go down as one of the best WrestleManias of all time. To me, and one's a pretty good, and especially to me, you got to watch. And if you're going to go main event, the ultimate trilogy of matches is to watch Cody at 39 against Roman and him lose. Watch the tag match and Cody lose again, and then watch him finish his story. And that's a fun trilogy to watch, and you really understand Cody in that. Oh, that's all you really need. You can watch some AEW stuff and some other shit too, but that's the three that really kind of, that's Cody Rhodes finishing the story. That's his fucking journey. And night 2, it's one of the greatest main events. It's one of the greatest stories. This is fucking, it's funny because, and I was going to wait till we got to the main event, but I'm going to throw in this antidote now. I looked at Doug last night because after we finished watching it again, I turned on Starrcade 97 and I turned on Sting and Hogan. And I said, this is the, and I looked at Doug, I was like, this is the fucked up version of what we just watched. Fucking Sting and fucking Hogan, same thing. So many people, biggest gate for them, biggest fucking deal. Except WWE did the right thing and WWE told the right story, and let fucking, their big guy, their Hogan, Roman, lose. To whereas Eric Bischoff and Sting and the whole it's going to be a fucking fast count, which the original idea
And
for the
Bret Hart
start
showing up, all that.
Yeah, which I get. All right, Bret Hart got screwed, so you're going to do a fast count. Fucking Sting gets screwed. Bret Hart reverses it because he doesn't fuck with that. It makes sense to the story. But you got to have the referee actually count fast. If the referee does a normal count and you're just like, oh, Sting got beat clean. Okay. And then Bret Hart's like, no, but this is bullshit. It wasn't bullshit. We just watched him lose. And fucking, so they fucked that up. But Cody and Roman is that magnitude of the story and that magnitude of a buildup, the same thing, but done completely correctly.
Right. And the thing about that, and Nick Patrick's talked about this before, he was told, and when he said this in front of Bischoff, Bischoff just stayed silent because he's like, Eric, you came up to me and you said normal count tonight.
Oh, I did?
Yeah. And then Sting went up to Nick Patrick and said, rapid fire, 1, 2, 3. And Nick Patrick's like, okay. And then Hogan went up to him and said, all right, brother, tonight, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3. And Nick Patrick's like, all right, I'm going to go with the guy who signs my fucking check, which is Bischoff. He said normal count tonight. He hasn't said anything else to me.
Yeah.
Because, it was probably around that time, Bischoff was giving Hogan the ball rub. And so he, Nick Patrick's like, all right, well, Bischoff's like, oh, Nick, I should have pulled you into the meeting so you knew what we were doing. It's like, yeah, no shit, dumbass. But you probably couldn't get Hogan's fucking cock out of your mouth long enough to call Nick into the office. Like, so, but the thing is that the difference here is Triple H has a backbone. Bischoff did not. And Roman, because he was going to take the time off anyway, it's like, yeah, just go ahead and take the title off me. I don't care.
Bischoff had a backbone, but not with Hulk Hogan. That's the caveat. Because
Yep.
Bischoff could be a good stern boss, but for his boys, Bischoff's just a loyal friend. That's how I describe him. You can say ball suckers. You can say I'm personally Eazy-E's one of my favorite of all time. As an on-air character and as a fucking...
He's my favorite till he starts sucking off Hogan.
As a booker.
It's just admit Hogan was wrong. All you got to do, it's been 28 fucking years. Just say Hulk Hogan was wrong. Just say it the one time, and that's all you got to fucking do. And then I'll quit talking shit about you.
I completely agree.
Just say it one fucking time, Bischoff.
His loyalty to Hogan has been... But the consistency of it, he's always been a loyal, true friend to him. Even you look at interviews back in the 90s, he would never fucking throw Hogan under the... He would always say Hogan's his boy and the man. And I know that's not always what you want out of a wrestling booker. But then you think of a Vince who's like... It's like, I don't give a fuck. You could have been the godfather to Stephanie, all right? Which I don't know if that's like... I'm not throwing that out there. I'm just saying you could be you could be an important member in my fucking circle. And you piss me off once, or you fucking sneeze in my gym while I'm working out, you're fucking out, bitch. Like Vince is the complete opposite to where, and he's like, oh, Brett, top guy, we're screwing you. Like Vince is that guy. And at least I'm just saying the good side of it, which It is annoying that he fucking.
Oh, that he's still doing it. Just admit the one time that he's wrong.
I'm just saying the loyalty is respectable, and it's all.
Yeah. Well, and I get that. I don't respect it though, because I don't respect Hulk Hogan.
I know, but he built the thing you love.
Tomato.
I love that Doug. We have a wrestling podcast. Doug is the biggest wrestling fan I know in my life, and all
Me
the
too.
biggest figures in wrestling.
No, yeah. He's the
All
biggest
the
wrestling
top
fan I know.
guys ever, besides a few. Doug cannot fucking stand.
Yep.
I'm a very
Doug is the
complex
biggest
man.
wrestling fan I know, too.
Flair and Hogan can get fucked. Doug's guys.
Yeah. But
You've come around on Roman a bit, though.
well, yeah, Roman. Here's the thing: is that Roman, because I don't see Roman as the guy who is saying, I'm not doing the job tonight, brother.
Yeah, he's not selfish.
All right. And, people are even saying, okay, over on AEW, maybe Jon Moxley has the hold on Tony Khan that Hulk Hogan had on Eric Bischoff. You should not compare Hulk Hogan to Jon Moxley.
I think it's more Jericho. Because he's stuck by Jericho.
Yeah.
If you're going to make that comparison, is all I'm saying.
Well,
you're not, but for the people that do. I think
Jericho, by the way, Jericho's taking a break. Jericho left.
I know he announced it. It was hilarious.
Yeah. He's like, I'm done, which should get the AEW fans off of Tony's back a little bit. But the whole Jon Moxley thing, here's the deal. And it's been reported by Sean Ross Sapp. There were no plans, despite the bitching, there were no plans for Moxley to lose the title on Sunday. When Jon Moxley won the title, Tony Khan had an idea in his head of how long Moxley was going to hold the belt. It was going to be a long run. It was going to be longer than 6 months. It's always been the plan. I believe, I don't know if they're going to take it all the way to All In Texas in July. I'm going to assume that that's what it is. But despite the bitching, Tony doesn't want to pivot because Tony thinks that fans are going to be happy with what he does.
But can I throw something in there? Or
yeah, go ahead.
More in you? But
I got 20 more. But
I know you do. You can go all night. That's what I love about you. In the sack too, ladies. But fucking the Kev, I will say, I feel like he feels that way. I completely agree with what you're saying, and I think that Tony feels that way because we just had 3 transitional champions. I love Samoa Joe, and I love fucking Swerve Strickland. Swerve has grown on me, and I will say I'm a fucking Swerve fan. But short reigns. We've had 3 short reigns in a row. I need to build my belt like Hunter's built. Hunter's doing great with the fucking year-long bringing prestige to belts. That is the one thing Triple H is he hasn't really done it with the mid-card women titles yet. Chelsea's trying. But fucking, Hunter's good at building prestige in a title right now. Or at least he seems like it right now.
Yeah.
And, Triple H. I'm attached to Hunter like I know him. But Triple H. And Tony.
Mr. Levesque.
You had a nice, pretty good run on a MJF, but it got weird because he went babyface a little bit. And before that, the Punk shit was so weird. You had the transitional champion with fucking Moxley, and it was back and forth. I can see him, not even just because it's Moxley, I can just see him, the next guy that gets the belts holding it for a year, damn it. Because we need to fucking build this thing. I'm not going down as Vince Russo fucking handing it off every week.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I feel like that might be his thinking a little bit.
And also, too.
And I don't blame him.
Jim Ross, and I kind of am starting to see, okay, maybe everybody in the company actually happens to think that this Death Riders thing is good. Because Jim Ross praised the Death Rider storyline. Now, a lot of people could say, well, Jim Ross is 72 years old and probably doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. But also, when you get to be that age, and especially if you're in wrestling, your opinions start to override your judgment. Although I'm 39 and it's already fucking happening to me.
Yeah, you're getting old.
Easy. But JR, and I think a lot of people think that, and Tony Khan has said, our ratings have gone up and it's been because of the Death Riders. So he feels that way. So he wants to reward Moxley and reward Moxley for all of his loyalty. So again, we might be getting sick of it. I'm not really getting sick of Moxley. I hate Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and Marina Shafir. I want them gone. Shut up, Misty.
The cat agrees.
She does? All right. Keep talking.
I do want to piggy off what Daniel said. I think Tony Khan wants to have Moxley drop it to the right person. Not Service, not the right person.
Yes.
He wants to make sure
everything that everybody.
It's either Will Ospreay or Darby Allin, or it would have been Darby Allin if Darby didn't want to be a fucking moron and climb a mountain that he might not come back alive from.
Yeah, That's why, like, because we were in the car and Doug was like, well, you got to do this. Or we're like, Darby could come in here. I'm like, dude, it takes 2 months to climb Mount Everest. If you're a good climber. If you're experienced. He's never done it before.
Train.
He's inexperienced and fucking, yeah. So if he makes it back, which I hate saying that, I'm praying for the guy. I hope he does make it back. But if he makes it back, it's going to be 2-3 months. And then he's probably going to want to recover for a few weeks. So, like, it's going to be a while. If you're waiting, if the plan is Darby, get ready for some more Death Riders, baby, because that's what's going to go down. If it's
I think it's Ospreay.
But I can see Tony wanting to. My greater point was I can see Tony wanting to ride this out to All In, so he can say, okay, we had another year run. Because Jericho had a nice title reign, Omega had a nice title reign, and then after Hangman, it kind of turned into a transitional belt a little bit.
Yeah.
So I get, like, MJF kind of saved it with a nice big reign. But fucking, I think he wants a long, prestigious reign to say that these are our champions, that, you know, it didn't just go to the. I didn't give up, because I don't think he wants to go down as a guy that gives up on stories after a few months either, because he already did that with the Elite. If he canceled the Elite after the Elite healed, now they're back, but that stopped for a while after like only 4 months. And he's like, I can't do the same thing to the Death Riders. We got to ride this out. Yeah. I can see his logic. And I don't think he's the worst booker in the world like everybody thinks. I think he's trying hard, and I think he does have some good ideas, and he's got some good talent that's trying for him too.
Yeah, it's just, again, for me, it's the other people in the Death Riders.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Do you think this could be potentially turning Moxley back face?
No.
Nah.
Okay.
I think they take the belt off him. He goes away for a few months, and then he comes back a babyface. Okay. Even let him take a year off, and then the next All In, he makes his big return, and it means a lot.
Yeah.
He needs to go away for a while, just like Jericho might need to just actually retire. And I love Jericho, and I feel bad that people shit on him so hard. But fucking Moxley, I think he just needs 6 months to a year sabbatical, and he'll be fine.
Well, and also too, and this is what, and I'm going to kind of take from Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins here. Becky Lynch. You know, she's done. I mean, she's gonna come back, obviously, but
you don't think that,
huh?
Eventually,
yeah. But she had to take some time off, you know, to help, you know, to raise her kid. Yeah. You know, her kid's getting to the age where she's got to start going to school, and somebody's got to be home for the kid to go to school, unless they're gonna fucking homeschool her on the fucking bus or on their tour bus, which, I mean, is possible, but it's like, a parent does have to stay home with the child unless you get a really good nanny, or a really hot one.
Either or both.
Like
parents.
Yeah. So like one of the parents has to stay home. Baby Nora, you know, John Moxley and Renee Paquette's child, she's going to be 4 this year. All right. She's getting to preschool age. Somebody has to take the time off to put the kid through preschool. And I could see Moxley doing it for the first, few months, maybe the first year, and then them finally telling Renee, you know, go home with your kid.
That fucking AEW schedule's nice and cozy, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Moxley's at most working 2 days a week.
Well, I'm just saying, well, the kid's got to go to school 5 days a week.
Yeah, I know, but... And I hate to be the Vince McMahon with when he told Russo to get a nanny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, people could. Like, you're making enough money. Yes, you could get a nanny. But also, too, you know, Vince McMahon telling somebody, hey, don't spend time with your kids. I mean, we know, you know, he's not spending time with his kids now.
He used to.
His grandkids.
But it's funny that that's what made Russo quit. I mean, it is real life, and it's fucked up. And that's the part where I don't blame Russo, because Russo cried in front of him, poured his heart out. It was like, dude, I need to see my kids. And he's like, get a nanny. He's like, we all got nannies. Get a nanny. What are you doing? You fucking brokey. Just buy a nanny. And then Russo's like, and then he's like, all right, I'm going to Atlanta.
Yeah. Which worked out well for Russo. Yeah, right.
Well, it worked well for his fucking bank account, I'm sure. But it didn't work out for the state of wrestling.
No. But
Thank God for AEW. We got a second again. But let's get back to WrestleMania Night 1. Unless if you have a point, you can finish it. But
I think I already made it, but I don't know. It's been a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I made my point.
We haven't even gotten to match 1 yet. And match 1 really lights up the fucking place. You got CM Punk on commentary, and you got a really badly hurt, injured, in real life, Seth Rollins against Drew McIntyre for that World Heavyweight title.
And he still came out dressed up as one of the mummers and fucking, doing his dance, which he should have been coming out on a fucking hover round.
And he just did the tag match the night before.
Yep. And he's the first match of the next night.
Yeah. So and when they call Seth, and you'll see him later, and when you call Seth Rollins, like their whole Seth Rollins was the MVP of WrestleMania 40, 100% correct. He was. As far as the narrative and the storytelling, that man weaved himself into 4 different stories. He kind of built up to just having Punk in commentary and having his nose in his business. That kind of built that up a little bit. Fucking Drew McIntyre. Him and they got to have a fantastic match, even with him being hurt, and Drew kind of got to have a moment. And then that fed into that other storyline with Drew and Punk. His involvement in the Cody shit was massive. And he fucking, I guess he wasn't really involved in Damian Priest's moment. He was gone by then, but he was a big deal in that WrestleMania, and it never felt like too much Rollins either.
No,
he was in blips to where it's he just means a lot.
He wasn't out every segment.
No. And he was only out when it meant you knew he was going to come to help.
Yeah, and what's funny is and you can kind of make the Starcade comparison again. J.J. Dillon came out in about 4 or 5 segments, and he used to do that on Nitros too, where he would come out 4 or 5 segments because he always had to make another announcement or something like that. Seth Rollins was a part of 2 segments on night 2. His title match, and then he got involved in the Cody stuff.
Yep. 3 hours later. So he got to rest.
Yeah. He got to rest a little bit. Fucking Undertaker sitting up in a box suite, and then he gets a call from Triple H. He goes, "Get down here now." And he's fucking drunk. And he's like, "Wait, really? Right now?" He goes, "Do I have to change anything?" He goes, "Well, what are you wearing now?" He goes, "My biker stuff." He goes, "All right, you're good." Just
that should have been Stone Cold, right? That was the original plan.
That's what they wanted. Now, Steve Austin, being a true man, says that he couldn't do WrestleMania last year because his wife had something else she had to do. Okay. So, being a true man, he blamed his wife. So, this year, however, Stone Cold Steve Austin lives in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So, he, so if they called and said, "Hey, we need you at WrestleMania," which, by the way, he should be at the Hall of Fame because his fucking match is getting inducted.
He's going to be there, dude. He's going to be in the match. You're going to get a moment where Rock, and I do think Cody's going to lose. I think they're going to find a way to put the title on Cena.
I think you do have to in his last year.
But yeah. You are going to get a moment guaranteed 100% in that match where it's Rock and Cena beating down Cody and he's got the Mama Rhodes belt and you're going to hear the fucking glass break. It didn't happen last year. The Undertaker moment felt like when it was supposed to happen, but Undertaker was so cool and it got such a pop. I'm not taking anything away from that. That was awesome. But it did kind of feel like that was the moment to where it was like the glass was going to break.
Yeah, I was as a Stone Cold fan, I was waiting for Stone Cold to come
for WrestleMania 40 and shit, like that kind of felt. So it really seems like it's going to happen this year, especially with The Rock having his nose in Cody's business again. Who is The Rock's greatest rival of all time?
What if?
And either Austin or Triple H, but I love Triple H, but just stay in the suit, brother.
Well, he has to. He's got a fucking he's got a fucking defibrillator in his chest. Yeah. He has to. Cool. But what if Seth Rollins wins the triple threat match night 1, and then he comes out and he's the one that really helped Cody win last year? What if he's the one that cost Cody this year?
Seth?
Yeah. Like Austin comes out and gets rid of the Triple H, or not the Triple H, the Rock factor. But then Seth Rollins, because this really could be Rock building kind of like a team.
Yeah, because Rollins has succumbed to the hatred of CM Punk.
A lot of people are saying
it's not
CM
bloodline, so because I would say at first I'd be against it because it's like, is he going against everything he hates? But technically, it's not the bloodline; it's Rock's own thing. It's the Rock
it's basically it's another corporation. It's basically Rock leading the faction that he became a part of with the McMahons. This is the next generation corporation almost.
It seems like a mix between.
I pick off that. I would say it's CM Punk that is the one that does it. That costs.
The only reason why I did not say Punk is I thought of that. The only reason why I did not say Punk is because I think it's whoever's going to win the triple threat.
I think it's more of a mix between the NWO and the corporation.
Okay.
Especially with Travis Scott fucking with them like they're Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, because Travis Scott's going to be there.
Yeah, and because they got this aura of coolness, I think they're trying to be like the NWO / corporation.
I mean, that makes sense too. But yeah, no, Eric, you make a good point. But the only reason why I didn't say Punk is because I think Rollins is winning the triple threat. And I think whoever wins the triple threat is going to be the one to do it.
To piggy off what Cleneth said last week, because he did say that he thinks that Paul Heyman's going to turn on Punk and Reigns.
Yeah, go with Rollins. And that is a big – I can see them going. It kind of feels easy, but I can see them doing it. My thing here is you're not going to – if any of the two between Punk and Rollins, if any of them is going to go heel, WWE will give up the whoa before they give up the CM Punk. They'll give up.
What if it's Reigns?
With either of them going here. He just went baby, and the people love him too much now. He is probably the most over in the company. There's
still a story. There's still kind of a.
They still want to get that Rock-Roman match off.
And now that Rock's a fucking heel and Roman's a natural babyface that people respect and love now, there's no reason to turn Roman back. And honestly, Roman hasn't acted that different. He's still an asshole. People just love him now.
I mean, people say douchebag, but yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
there is kind of unfinished business with Cody.
He does, but I don't think they're going to go that route because they already did.
Yeah. Okay.
It's either going to be. I mean, yes, you make a good point.
Just throwing it out there too. So
I mean, yeah. I mean, well, you're doing the Russo thing. You're throwing shit at a wall to see what sticks. But
it would be funny if it did come true.
Yeah. Well, you're coming over for night one, right?
They're not going to give up.
Yeah, that's still the plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not going to give up Punk as a babyface. They're just not.
Yeah.
All right. Rollins and fucking McIntyre was a great effort that I think both guys worked their asses off. And I think Rollins, even with the bum knee, really tried his ass off to make this special for Drew. At the end, when they had a moment, it's like, you fucking deserve it, man. That was cool. And Punk's involvement and the cool shit at the end and Damian Priest, it was a cool moment to where it's the opening of the show and about 3 or 4 different guys got to have a nice big moment.
Yeah.
And a nice WrestleMania moment. Because Damian, that might be his big WrestleMania moment, you know? Unless him and Drew can really fucking make magic. Which I'm excited for that match at WrestleMania too. But
yeah, which was made official yesterday.
Yeah. That's been a pretty big
a year in the making.
Yeah. Pretty much. But yeah, no, this match was good. I really enjoyed it. I would give it a 4 out of 5. The cash in, kind of helped make it because I really do like Damian Priest. So I was happy that he got the belt.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 5 out of 5 because of the cash in.
Well, there you go.
I give it a 4.7.
All right. Cleneth, there's your decimals, you son of a bitch, because you're not here.
Because you fuck this. All right.
I mean, he's the one that suggested that we do part 2. A part 2.
Oh, he fell asleep.
He fell asleep?
He probably did.
Oh.
All right. Next up, we have the Pride.
Really?
Bobby Lashley.
Of what?
I don't know.
Kalamazoo?
We got Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits, and good old B-Fab.
Who could have earned herself a WrestleMania berth tonight, by the way.
Can I say who's in the fucking match?
Yeah. I'm promoting tonight's show. I'm doing WWE a service.
You don't work for WWE. And
well,
you talk shit about them constantly. You're not getting the job done.
I'm trying to help you get in.
You fucked us all out of one already. You've already talked about Triple H blowing Shawn. We're screwed.
I speak truth.
And he meant it in a romantic, good way.
Yeah.
No, fuck you. All right. The Pride's going against the Final Testament, the other big group. That's still going to this day. Oh, wait. They're not. Karrion Kross's group. And Doug is way too fucking mean on Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is a good worker that does have good shit in him. And I do like the whole cult leader thing. The
only reason why he has a job is because he has a fuckable wife.
His wife, I think, adds to the package, and I think those two are a good combination.
She plays with his.
I think there's a lot of potential left in Cross. I think he's not a bad part of the show. I like when he shows up.
I'm kind of with Doug.
There you go.
If either one of you came face to face with him, you would piss your pants. So.
Oh no! I'd fucking throw Eric in front of me and then try to.
Especially with those eyes he gets, if he stares at you the way he stares at people on TV, you would fucking.
Yeah, when he
so you didn't beat me up.
And then you hop out of the hey, fucking sucks.
And then fucking, well, like when Sami Zayn told him to mind his own fucking business, and Karrion Kross is just like, you don't have a problem with me, but you could have a problem with me. It's like, get the fuck away from him.
Yeah.
He said he wants nothing to do with you. He doesn't want a problem with you. You just won't fucking leave him alone unless he gives you a safe word.
I do
fucking pervert.
I like him showing up in the back of segments and getting in people's ear. I think it works. It reminds me of the Sean O'Hare gimmick. The devil's advocate thing.
I mean, I can see that.
And that's what I like about it.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason why I would give him a chance is because that one girl that does the streaming on Facebook, that Mini Portal or whatever her name is.
You giving her a plug now too?
Well, anyway.
Shut up. He woke up.
Cleneth woke up.
Yeah, I woke up.
Cleneth woke up. He's back on the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, Cleneth.
Cleneth keeps coming in the last 20 minutes.
The last 20 minutes?
No,
yeah.
We got about 45 left. We got a good show left. But, Cleneth, what did you think of, we're on night 2. We already talked about, fucking Rollins and McIntyre. We're on to the Pride versus the Final Testament. Do you think that there is money in Karrion Kross? Because these two are shitting on him pretty good. I think that there's potential there.
I mean, when he was with the whole Final Testament thing, or Karrion Kross group, yeah. With him doing now, no, because he's like one of those, I think, a mature version of a Goldust type of character, if you ask me.
Goldust?
No, I said mature person.
How is he like Goldust? I want to hear this.
Let's see how to put it out. The way he's been doing those backstage with interactions with people, even though how Goldust was always gonna, he's just like one of those weird guys. I don't know how to put it.
I can see it.
But he's annoying. But he is like kind of like that annoying type of person. Even how to even set this match up for this coming Monday night on Raw.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
I like. I mean, his involvement in the Logan AJ thing's been because they're clearly going to go to him and AJ after.
Right. I mean, that makes sense.
This match, the street fight, my favorite part of this match of the Final Testament, you were a pig. My favorite thing of the Final Testament was the Pride was one. Bully Ray in a tuck shirt, in the referee shirt, because he looked like me in a tuck shirt, just all flabby. And he just looked like your uncle, like at the fucking soccer game, and he's fucking doing the shit, and everybody loves him and fucked with him. But it was kind of hilarious. And 2, the table breaking on Karrion when they were gonna get the table, and it was a big moment. They had the whole arena do it. Then they put him on the table, and it breaks. And I'm sure everyone in that moment was like, "Son of a bitch."
And it's fucking Snoop Dogg going, "Hey, boo-boo, let's get the picnic table." And it's like, oh, God.
Snoop Dogg's always there for the botches.
Yeah.
He could have went there and saved him this time, too, like he did Shane O'Mac.
See, he still has GOAT status though for the fact that he did that.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome on the fly performing.
Yeah, when he's just like, what's going on? What's going on? And I don't know, like if Miz said something to him, it's like we got to save the segment. So if Miz said, all right, save the segment, and then all of a sudden Snoop Dogg just punches Miz in the mouth. He's like, you told me to save the segment.
I'm saving the segment. And it was like that, though. Like, he hurt his quads. You could tell he was kind of hurt, but they didn't take a while. And Snoop Dogg's like, fuck it. Just started kicking ass.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. But this match, it was pretty good filler stuff. The Pride, obviously, as a group, Bobby Lashley wasn't even a fan because he fucking left. So, and the other group, you got two guys that got fired. And I heard, well, Bully even said that he heard them before the match went on. Triple H was talking to whatever
Akam and Razor.
Akam and Razor. And he told him, he's like, this is your moment. He's like, make me push you guys. This is the moment where you guys prove yourselves. It's time for you guys to fucking show out and then make you a focal point of television. And obviously, I don't think they fucking did it.
I mean, they did get one win over Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, but
so there you go. But I like, this wasn't really anything.
Yeah.
And on their behalf, everybody else, like Lashley was trying to make it good. The Street Profits are always energetic.
Yeah, Montez Ford with his dives.
Yeah. And they're a fun presence, and them interacting with Bubba was fun.
Yeah.
And I think that's enough. For me, I would give it a 2.5.
Yeah. You know you have me spelled as douchey, right?
Well, you are.
That's wild.
That's how you spell Dutchy. Douchey would be with an O.
Well, no, Dutchy would have to have the T.
Why?
I don't know. It's just
CH makes a ch. Dutchy.
All right. Well,
You would need a DOU.
maybe I just admitted something.
You're douchey?
Yeah. I mean, I can be. Like, the thing is that, like, again, you know, we talk about all the time, you know, Bobby Lashley didn't like this version. We know what version of the Hurt Business Bobby Lashley wanted. Triple H wanted the Street Profits pushed. And I don't think
this wasn't the Hurt Business, though.
Well, I mean, this was like a version of it almost.
How? They were good guys.
But
and kind of going against the fucking evil dark group. Like the Hurt Business kicked ass and took names.
Well, like Bobby Lashley wanted the Hurt Business. Triple H wanted a different version of it because he wanted his guys. He wanted to push the Street Profits because the Street Profits are his guys.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley, it was just like, no. And I don't think Bobby Lashley hates the Street Profits. I think it's just Bobby Lashley, stubborn. It's like, you know, when his first run, when he left because WWE fired his wife. And he's like, I'm done. Like, you fired my wife. Whatever. People are allowed to have their opinions. He can, whatever. Don't really care. But you know, Bobby Lashley wanted his wife to be didn't want his wife to get fired. They had no reason for her to be there, so he left. She ends up divorcing him like 5 years later. How'd that work out? But he always had this loyalty to stuff that even didn't work. And even though the Street Profits thing could have worked if they would have put their effort into it.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's I give this a 3-1.
Yeah.
I give it a 2.7.
See, I'll give it a 3.
All right. No decimal, Cleneth?
No decimal. I'm not playing a decimal game tonight.
Next up, we got LA Knight and AJ Styles, the phenomenal one.
This one I really did like because I actually liked the build up to this.
Yeah, and I think AJ was really working hard to get LA over. Too.
Yeah, because the build up here was AJ Styles delivers the cheap shots, and then when LA Knight's just like, I'm going to get you next week, AJ's like, good luck with that because I'm not even going to the building. So LA Knight's like, okay, I'll go to your house. And he did. So I enjoyed that build up, and the match was damn good too.
Yeah.
So and it was what LA Knight needed.
Yeah, I think this setup, what LA Knight we have now, this match right here.
Yeah. And because they were like begging for him to get pushed for a while, and Triple H was like, "Give it time," and now they gave him the U.S. title back because people were mad that he lost it to Shinsuke. We got to see it live, him get it back.
Yeah,
and he's been on a good run, and he's a feature focal point of SmackDown. I think LA's in a good spot. I know a lot of people want him to see him become world champion, but that field's kind of crowded.
I do think that the sleeper match is him and Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
I do think it's going to be a good match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You think so?
It might steal the show, yeah.
I don't think it's going to steal the show. I just feel like it's going to be a lot of hoopla and unnecessary interference between Tamakonga and Solo.
What'd you call
him?
He just called him Tamakonga.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever you want to call Solo, and then
I just chuckle also because you said hoopla.
Hoopla.
Yeah, hoopla. It's a lot of hoopla.
I don't think you're wrong, but sometimes hoopla is a good thing.
Not in this case.
Well,
Not when WrestleMania is supposed to be like the showcase of. I just don't like it. It just it dampers the show a little bit.
I thought
unnecessary hoopla. Let's put it this way. This is.
I hear you.
Now, if Jacob was going 1-on-1 and this is a straight up 1-on-1, I will love it. I will in it. But I just know for a fact that W1 and W number 2 who's going to be at ringside because they're jealous of Jacob's new attitude. They're going to cost them the match.
I mean, I do think that's going to happen. I do agree with you.
What?
Believe it or not. But yeah, no, I understand fully what you're saying. Unnecessary hoopla. Now, Eric, since you're coming over for night one next Saturday, are there matches that you're hoping are going to be on the night one card? That
hoping this LA Knight versus Fatu is on.
You hope it's on night one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead.
Is Bailey who's Bailey going to face?
Well, we'll find that out tonight if her and Lyra win the gauntlet match.
Yeah, I thought they were going to go towards her and Roxanne, but they never really. Roxanne's back in NXT.
Yeah, they weren't. That was the original plan, and then they're like, you know what? They wanted Roxanne to continue. They're going to bring her up after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Hopefully Bailey's on night one.
Because Roxanne and Lyra
night two last year,
put on a great match like they did in NXT.
Yeah. But no, this match. But yeah, not. Do we already give our ratings for LA Knight AJ Styles? If not, I'm going to say 4.
I go 4 too.
I go 3-8.
3-8.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4.
It was fun, and you could tell AJ was working his ass off to make LA look good.
Yeah.
And it was like a really good, because AJ can fucking adapt well, and fucking LA Knight has a fun style. So I thought it was a good match.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Next up, we have Logan Paul with I Show Speed in a Prime battle against the best friends at the time. Oh, how the times have changed. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. And by the way, for Kevin Owens, you get better, you motherfucker, because you're a damn good heel. And you got to come back in a couple years or a year. And
he had the surgery. It was successful, and the doctors told him he could be back between 9 to 12 months.
Yeah, I heard 12 to 16.
I mean, I wasn't necessarily
I'm
official.
gonna
I
say
heard
Royal
words.
Rumble in
That's why I
2020.
said. I'm like,
That's a perfect date.
So Kevin, get better. But he is great. Randy is great, and I would have loved to seen that match. That's another thing about the filler. We lost a big match in that.
Yeah.
Because Randy and Kevin, and now Randy,
Well,
and now it's looking like it's going to be Randy and Nick Aldis. We'll see tonight.
It's either Randy or Nick Aldis, or they're going to bring back Aleister Black, even though I think they were. Cleneth, was he part of the. Aleister Black's vignettes the 425 thing?
this 425? I had no idea.
Yeah, well, wasn't the vignettes that they were kind of running like had something to do with 425?
I'm not exactly sure if that was Alistair Black or not. But if it was, then I would be surprised they would like call him up early just for that one replacement.
Yeah, because by the way, for anybody keeping score here, 425 is the date of the SmackDown after WrestleMania.
Yep. 2 weeks from today.
Right. Very good, Eric. So maybe that's what they were planning on, but now it's either Nick Aldis gets in the ring or they bring in
I think he
Aleister
chooses
Black.
his opponent.
I do like the payoff of that. When you remember when he gave him that fine for $50,000.
Oh, the memes have like I got 10 different fucking memes, or it wasn't even a different meme. It was just 10, I saw the same meme 10 times.
Yeah, I keep seeing it, and it's because he gave Randy because he got a $50,000 fine, and he gave Nick Aldis $100,000. And he said, "This is $100,000." He's like, "Yeah, but that's for next time." And then then it's the picture of him RKOing him. And it's so good.
I think Nick Aldis is going to choose his opponent, and it's going to be Aleister Black.
I mean, that makes the most sense because who else is left? Unless it's like Solo Sikoa or Braun Strowman. But I think they're going to get more involved in the U.S. title thing.
Yeah. Mello don't miss. Randy and Mello on the big stage.
I mean, unless they bring up somebody else from NXT like an Obafemi.
Yeah. Poor Carmelo's just been losing.
Well, yeah, it's not going to be Carmelo.
He can beat our truth. He beat our truth. But yeah, SmackDown's going to be good tonight.
Yeah. So, this triple threat match, I would probably say 4-1.
Them coming in on the golf cart.
That was fucking hilarious. Because he told Randy, he's like, sit in the cart. And Randy just got on the back of it. And it's just like, Kevin told you to sit in the damn thing for a reason.
Yeah.
Because he's going down a ramp at about 30 miles an hour.
Yeah. And the psychology of this match, it's one of the better matches on the card because you have a triple threat done in one of the best ways you can do it. And we'll see if they can do it with Punk, Rollins, and Roman. But this triple threat was expertly plotted out because you had the two friends, which are just like they're really exploring their buddies and their friendship and shit. And it's Randy and Kevin and they're homies, but they're going for the same thing. And Logan's this douchebag that holds the belt and he's like, I'm the guy, and so Logan has his own dynamic. And then you have these two, like they have an odd couple buddy relationship, and it's funny, those two together.
Two veterans.
I like Randy and Kevin together almost more than I liked Randy and Riddle.
Yeah.
So Randy and Kevin they're a fun combination. And but then slowly throughout the match, you see, but Randy's the Viper and he wants to win a title. And then you see, but Kevin Owens will fuck anybody over. It's Kevin Owens. And then you start to see those little wrinkles throughout the match. And I think it really made the match special because there was a narrative going on throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the better done triple threats, maybe ever, but at least in the last few years. So I would give this a 4-9. I know that's high.
4-5.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4.
Cleneth's like, I'm staying away from the decimals. Fuck you guys.
Basically.
Cleneth never shies away from the truth.
Did you rate it?
I said 4-1.
Okay. All right, next up we got Bayley and Io Sky for the world title. Or the WWE's Women's Championship. This was on SmackDown.
I think Eric liked it. because he just went like
Oh, he
this.
loves Bailey. I thought it was an expertly done match. This was a fun because this story got finished too. And it was a cool, different. It was a fun storyline going into WrestleMania. Damage Control was a fun little group and a fun storyline. And I liked that they played on the whole that they were speaking in Japanese and she didn't know what they, but she speaks Japanese and she's like, "You guys are assholes."
Yeah, which by the way, nobody knew that. I never knew that. I didn't know she spoke Japanese.
She might have just learned a few lines for that, but fucking.
That's what I'm thinking too.
She probably just studied a
Because,
little.
like you said, a lot of those things are scripted, so it's easy. Just plug in a few words and mail. Then you got your Japanese.
Or
Yeah,
maybe
she probably
she
got it on her phone.
But I love
She could have installed Babbel.
I love all the
Yeah,
women
that too.
involved in that because I think Asuka's a gem. Kairi Sane's fucking awesome. Io Sky is really fun. Even though she does, and I hate as a fan to use the word botch, but she be doing some crazy shit sometimes, and it seems like
Nothing beats the seated slam she did on the ladder at Money in the Bank, where she took Zoe Stark head first into the ladder.
Yeah.
But not only did Zoe go head first, Io Sky went snatch first.
Yeah, and she was like, ah! That was funny as fuck. She is really good, and the universe, the WWE universe fucks with her, and the fans really appreciate her.
Which is why they wanted her in the triple threat match next week, by the way.
Which is crazy. Bianca's the one that's getting the boost. Bianca's kind of the heel going to this thing because fucking people don't want to turn on Mommy. They love Mommy. They love Rhea, and people have kind of gained a respect for Io. And Io and Bailey, kind of. Even though this is a 14-minute match, this is a damn good match with two women going back and forth.
And Bailey selling the knee.
And Bailey selling the knee and Io working on it. And also the big counter to the roast plant, which is one of the best. Like, that was clean and crisp. And Io's like, nah. She got fucking clothesline right after that. But that was an awesome spot, how she fucking just like cartwheeled it out of the fucking roast plant. It was really cool. And I thought her and Bailey did a good match, told a good story. Royal Rumble match winner. So I thought it was a well told story, and I thought it was a good thing I was already hyped up off this going into Cody.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, we're staying hot, and it was a really hot match. I'll give it a 4 or 5.
I'll agree with you and say 4 or 5.
I'll give it 5.5.
Of course you would, but I want to give it a 3.
All right, Meltzer, you're going over the fucking scale?
No, 5 out of 5.
Oh, okay.
Well, I want to give it a 3.
Cleneth's just like, fuck this. Fuck Bailey and her butt lift. And
I'm glad she won the Royal Rumble. I'm glad she won the title. But yeah.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
All right, now we have the main event, the finishing of a story, the greatness. Now, one of the greatest main events of all time, to me.
Which, by the way, came in number 6 on WWE's on the WWE's YouTube channel of the top 50 greatest WrestleMania matches of all time. Number 6 was released today, and it was this.
Well, to me, the best match will always be Kurt and Eddie for me, but the best main event was always Rock and Austin for me. But it became this because Rock and Austin had the heel turn at the end. And it didn't. As much as I love that match, the way it goes at the end is kind of Austin's a bad guy. To whereas, Cody, this is the ultimate feel-good moment. And this is the moment where the babyface became cool again, and everybody started rooting for fucking Cody and against the big bad Roman. And everybody in this and that came out of this 10 times more over than they came into it.
Right.
Roman became a fucking lifelong bit. The fans started to respect and love Roman after this. The fans really respected Rollins for being the MVP and fucking doing all.
And you got Cena in the corner, just smiling.
Yeah, and all the baby faces coming out after, and it was much like when Dusty would win the title or when Bret Hart won. But it was a really feel-good moment. And him handing the title to his mom. And it's an hour match that feels like 30 minutes. Like it goes nice and crisp, and it's a really fun match to watch. And all the circus explosive shit at the end with fucking Rock coming out and fucking Asita and Taker and Solo, and it is one of those matches that I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's overbooked. It was overbooked. It should have just been a basic match. It's like, dude, it was like the Avengers Endgame of wrestling. It was the fucking like the ultimate culmination of all the storytelling for years and years in one fucking match. You know how hard it is to do that? And they fucking did it in an expert way. To whereas everything
Well, it
as
took
a
a two main event to do it, though.
yeah, but it was really mainly done in the one. It was really mainly done in this one. And I think that fucking he needed to lose at 39. And that's I was telling you you weren't in here yet, Cleneth, but I think the perfect trilogy of matches to watch. And I know you weren't as much of a fan of the tag match, but I would watch 39, watch Cody lose. That's a great match. Then you watch the tag match, Cody loses again, and then you watch him finish his story. And I think
low key, I do agree with that. I will agree with that.
thank you. I think that's a good trilogy to like understand Cody and his story. But this is one of the
foreshadowing that Rock and Cena went face to face.
Yeah. I don't know if they knew it at the time. Brock will probably say they did, but I mean, like, we came up with it with the character of the final boss, and he's like, and me and Cody are good friends. We just drank a tequila, and
and Michael Cole's sucking us under the table as we speak.
Yeah, and I smell my own farts, and it's great, and they smell wonderful. I mean, The Rock has become. I love.
You just made The Rock sound like Shane Gillis's Trump impersonation.
No, I did. I make everything sound like that. But the Rock,
the greatest heel turn.
It's The Rock is. He just really likes his own stuff a lot. Is all I'm saying. But he is still one of my favorites. And Cody in this moment, The Rock made Cody in this too. And the Baba Rhodes and fucking him with the belt and fucking, it was all badass. And Cody getting his moment at the end. Me and Eric still, we talk to this day in 2019 when we were getting hyped up for fucking AEW Double or Nothing and Cody was doing his promos. And I'm like, this is my guy. And then he has the match with Dustin and we're like, this guy is special. And I know he was wrestling for years. I'm sorry that I didn't get behind fucking Stardust. But I did get by, and when we saw him and Dustin won against the Shield, that kind of goes back to Roman too.
And then they ruin it by putting Kofi Kingston versus Bray Wyatt on right after.
Yeah. But no offense to either of those two. But I do.
I mean, yeah.
But I do think that not even just being a biased Cody Rhodes fan, because seeing him back there, like I'm like, maybe he'll make AEW big, maybe they can compete with WWE. But I didn't think he was gonna fucking be the WWE champion, and I didn't think he was gonna be. And in 39, I was heartbroken. I was pissed, and that they did their job. Too. That's what they're supposed to do. Even as a fucking smart Mark fan in my own right, I kind of predict what's going on, and I feel like I know, and I kind of have my finger on the pulse. But fucking, they got me, and I'm like, oh, he'll never get a shot again.
Never happen after that.
Yeah, and The Rock tried to never get a shot again, but he still fucking prevailed. And his story is one of the most organic stories in pro wrestling, and to watch it go down, it's one of the biggest, most spectacle main events.
Yeah, and I'll say this, and I gave Rock a lot of crap last year, but the fact that he actually pivoted and went with what the fans wanted, which was Cody, in the Cody versus Roman. I'll give Rock a lot of credit for that because there's a lot of people in his position that they want what they want, and what they want is what they get. So Rock deserves a lot of credit. I know a lot of people shit on that WrestleMania documentary that got released on YouTube because they said, it made Rock look, Rock made himself look good. The thing is that if it wasn't for him making it, because Ari Emanuel and Mark Shapiro were just like, we're going with the money. The money is Rock and Roman. We have to do that. That is money. And Rock's like, well, Philadelphia's a tough crowd. Trust me, I know. We have to do what the people want. And if some people want this, That
Somebody
better be
else's
Sky
home?
and not anybody else.
I think it is.
All right.
He's
Oh.
big though.
He hasn't even connected all the way.
That's all right. Then keep going with your.
All right. But so Rock deserves a lot of credit for, if it wasn't for him, making the decision that he made to keep going, to just stay with what the people wanted, WrestleMania would not have been that good last year because people would have shit all over that main event. So Rock,
Yeah.
I would give as much credit as I give Triple H. I give Rock just as much credit because he really helped.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Philadelphia crowd would have responded to Rock and Roman.
Yeah, and I agree. I think Rock did a great job. And
Yeah.
he made that moment for him. And Cody did his job. Roman did. Everybody, even Paul Heyman on the outside, going no, with these, and even Michael Cole, finish the story. Like, and that was a good fucking for the night before. Going, yeah. Cody is screwed to fucking finish the story.
The funny part is, when the Shield music came on, a lot of people thought it was Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. Fuck him. No, we'll get on to that after. But fucking, I'm making a point. But fucking, I did think it was Moxley too, but I'm glad it wasn't. But at the moment, I was like, oh my God, did they do it? But yeah, it was definitely Seth Rollins. And then he got speared into the existence. But I forgot what I was saying.
It happens. But no, this match was a perfect cinematic, masterpiece almost. Because all the elements you had. I mean, Jimmy and Jay, for the stinker that they put on the night before, they really gave it back to the crowd.
Yeah.
With that spear off the stage.
That was sick. Themselves. That spear was sick.
Yeah.
But you have to realize, and not only did that, but Samantha Irvin really put her heart into that. In that announcement, when she announced on the story, I mean,
but then afterwards, when Corey Graves was like, she's overcome with emotion, and Michael Cole's like, oh, we all are. It's like he's taken away from her moment. It's like, dude, we get it. You like Cody Rhodes. Let other people have their fucking moment besides you.
I don't know, dude. I thought Cole's had like his 5 best calls in his career was probably in that match.
Well, no, I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying is that like,
Samantha Irvin doesn't deserve. I mean,
she probably does. She probably doesn't deserve it now because everybody wants her to rot in hell because she left.
I don't want her to rot in hell, but when you're good at something, sometimes you should just do it. But I guess if you don't love and the passion, but I mean, good for her. She's gone. She's making music, but it was she added to that moment for sure too. Everybody did. Yeah. Cole did. And I love the line too when Pat McAfee, with a future of the bloodline, he's like, who gives a damn, Cole? Yeah. It was just some of Cole's best lines were in that. And the damn it, I love pro wrestling. It was good shit. And I thought that it added to it. And I thought everything, even her, Samantha Irvin, announcing Roman and Cody beforehand, everything had that big fight feel to it. And that's what helped make this main event.
Oh, definitely.
And the funny thing is that like we talk about Cole and McAfee. I mean, even what they did at the Royal Rumble with Cole, McAfee, and Barrett standing on the announce table, and Barrett afraid that the announce table was going to fucking break.
Yeah.
And they're all doing the yeet. Like, the 3 of them, and I'm assuming that the 3 of them are going to call both nights of WrestleMania.
Yes, they should.
Which they need to, because I feel like they add a little, even though like I do think Wade Barrett is best with Joe Tessitore.
Yeah, but Wade adds a little bit to that because you have Cole, who's a pretty good play-by-play, and he's also the cool uncle now, or the weird uncle. And then you got Pat McAfee, who's like a fun presence, and that's all he brings, and not much wrestling. He's just fun. So it's nice to have a actual traditional color guy that's like kind of heelish, you know.
Yeah,
Wade adds a lot. I like Wade as a
I you know, I love Wade Barrett as that because I can get past the heel stuff.
Yeah.
Like with him, I can't get past it with Corey Graves and Booker T. I can get past it though I could get past it with Bobby Heenan, and I could get past it with Wade Barrett because to me Wade Barrett will like join in on those like feel good moments.
What about Jerry Lawler?
Jerry Lawler, well, because Jerry Lawler had really good one-liners.
Yeah.
You know, the whole family tree needs a little trimming and stuff like that, which, you know, is true for a lot of families. But like the three of them, Wade Barrett, Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, they definitely have to, and I think they are going to be the team next week because because Joe Tessitore and Jackie Redmond, they trade off host. Like I think she hosts the kickoff shows, and then he'll go and he'll like interview like people in the crowd or whatever.
Yeah,
and then he'll host the post show so she can get like all of the backstage updates and shit.
Yeah.
So, like, all the announcers in WWE and all the panelists, like, they have a role.
Booker T. Will he be there?
I mean, he's going to be doing the NXT stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be going, when some girl fucking shoves her ass in another one's face.
Or when Trick Williams comes out and they go, whoop, that Trick. You go, whoop, that Trick. That's right.
I still say they should put that in his entrance in 2K25.
Booker on NXT is fucking hilarious, actually.
He does irritate me sometimes, but like I can't help but kind of just like dance a little bit when
he's having fun.
When he does the whoop that trick.
He did it too when Sexy Red came out. He's like, I like it. He had me dying.
Yeah.
Booker adds a lot to the commentary booth there. Him, Graves, and Michael Cole is one of my least favorite combinations of all time. But next to Jonathan Coachman, Corey Graves, and Michael Cole.
Well, and here's the thing. I'll just say this real quick. Corey Graves really started to kind of think twice about his disdain for going back to NXT once Vic Joseph called him and said, dude, you and I are best friends. We've always talked about wanting to work together. Booker's fine. Like, just, let Booker do his own thing. And just, you and I are a team.
And it's been the three of them, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been the three of them, but I think Vic Joseph had to be the one to tell Graves. It's like, just calm down and just look at it with a new set of eyes. We've always talked about wanting to work together. Now we get a chance to, so let's enjoy it.
Yeah.
So,
all right, WrestleMania. The main event, I'm giving a 5 out of 5.
I 100% agree.
Well, it was a 5 out of 5 banger.
All right. WrestleMania night 1 as a whole, or night 2. Final thoughts. I think it's one of the best WrestleManias of all time. I think there's a couple throwaway matches, but not much. Everything's pretty solid and stacked. I would give it a solid 9-1.
This to me would go down as an all-timer. Couple things really didn't need to be on there. But I mean, all the right people won.
Yeah.
Okay. All the right people won. So you can't really say that, oh, this person should have done this. All the right people won. I give it a 9.5.
Cleneth? I'll go last.
I will give it a 9 out of 10. This was a great WrestleMania, great crowd, the great atmosphere. It was just, it's different from watching it live than it is than watching on TV. It's fun, it's energetic, it's out there. And then when you're able to see in between how he set the matches up behind the scenes while they're doing the promos on the screen, it's awesome. Like I will say, one thing I did catch on about how they set up the security for the main event at WrestleMania, for the Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Like you actually saw a lot of security move over to make sure everything was all blocked off because you knew a fight was going to happen down there.
Right.
So, I wish I was lucky I was able to get that camera shot in there. That was totally awesome, by the way.
All right,
But
Eric.
yeah, it was
Oh.
great.
It was great.
Eric,
Go
Being
ahead.
there, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. But just watching, I'll give it 9.5.
All right, you motherfucker. I said live. Me and Doug enjoyed it just as much as you guys from the sanctity of our own home. And I got to see fucking Eric, your nose is bleeding, motherfucker. You didn't see Cody. Did you see Cody?
What?
no, your nose. You were. He's saying you were in the nosebleed seats at WrestleMania.
Like, could you see Cody?
Yeah, I was.
Answer the question, you boob.
No, but like, could you see the ring and stuff? Like, could you see the moment as it was taking place, or were you looking at the Titantron?
No, I could see it.
Hell yeah! All right, I was just kidding. It's crazy. You thought you actually had a nosebleed. I'm sorry, but
I thought you said that too. I'm like, wait, yeah, no bleed.
It was still very good seats.
okay, good. Well, I'm glad you had great seats. But
I mean, my butt was bleeding earlier when somebody tried to ruin the show. Fucking asshole. But that's another story.
It's okay. But
Hate that guy.
as we're getting to the end here,
No.
go ahead and plug the other stuff. You gave it a 10, right, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And a 9.5 watching it at home. So
All right. Tomorrow night, when Toons Combine, the Cartoon Classic continues, Real Ghostbusters versus Pokemon. The first official first round matchup. That is tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. 7 p.m. Eastern time, of course, on YouTube. Next Friday night, the honcho here is going to be in Atlantic City.
Big Hunch.
That would be you.
Have fun.
Because he's all about the booze, the broads, and the party.
And the money.
That too.
Have fun, Daniel.
Thank you.
So, myself and Eric and Cleneth, are you going to be around next Friday night?
I want to try to be around next Friday night. I might have something. I might have me working late, so I'm not exactly sure yet.
So, it's going to be same time as usual. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a WrestleMania preview, but we're also going to go back and we're going to do a deep dive on WrestleMania 8 from 1992 and kind of go into what the show could have and possibly should have been.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of examine what everybody was kind of doing, like, you know, leading up to WrestleMania and how certain matches that were thought of to take place didn't and what they did with. So we're going to kind of do a deep dive. These two guys are going to, well, Cleneth, if he's able to be on the show, you know, they're going to do their research, and obviously Eric will be on the show, but like they're going to do the research and we're going to be able to, so it's not just going to be me talking.
So it's more like you are we watching WrestleMania 8? Is that what you're doing? Or
not necessarily. You can watch it to kind of get a feel, as I don't have to watch it. I've seen the fucking thing 500 times.
well, I know you've seen the thing 500 times.
Yeah. You can watch it to kind of get an understanding as to what the hell we're talking about, but it's more like kind of just going through and doing the research and kind of reading, because there's plenty of articles out there and like stuff that was supposed to happen, because that was supposed to be Hogan and Flair.
Yeah. Infamously.
Where can I find these articles?
We'll send them to you.
I was just going to say online. I don't know exactly where you find them, but they're on. Just research WrestleMania 8, what should have been or what wasn't.
All right,
or
the hands are going crazy. Did you promote the cartoons yet?
yes,
Okay. It was a beautiful night, everybody. I love you all. Cleneth?
Love you, Cliff. Love you guys.
Peace.
It was great having everybody wrestling through the years. You guys will see everybody next time, and then when I'm back from making $1 million in Atlantic City, I'll see you too.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Very
See you in
good.
2 weeks, Daniel.
See
Later.
you in 2 weeks. Have a good WrestleMania. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Bye.
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 Bye.